What is every tanker's dream? When your shots can penetrate everything and no one can penetrate you. M4A3 Sherman is not a dream, but very close to that. What makes this vehicle unusual is that both 105mm gun and frontal armor are significantly bigger than what most of the opponents has. And that gives you advantage in these two things. But a good tank is not only about armor and penetration. When you start playing M4A3 Sherman, you will have only one shell available, a high explosive. Terrible shell. It can hull break light tanks, and there will be quite a lot of light tanks at battle rating 2.7, but 26mm of penetration means that it can hardly do any serious damage against anything that is not hull breakable, so research heat shell as soon as possible. Luckily, it can be chosen as a first upgrade. This will be your main shell from now on, and this is when the tanks game will really start. Heat shell has 1.61 kg of TNT equivalent of explosives. That means you still hull break light tanks, and it's enough to one-shot open top vehicles, but in addition to that, now you can reliably pierce any armor you face with 130mm of penetration on any distance. You will not face any tanks that would have more armor in realistic, so basically there is no need to aim for weak spots. Especially if you keep in mind that shell's muzzle velocity is only 381 meters per second, and at bigger ranges, aiming anywhere more precisely than just tank itself is quite difficult. Fortunately, second tier tank means that you will fight only on smaller maps, so ballistics is not a huge issue once you get used to it. But heat shells have their own disadvantage as well. They offer a little post-penetration effect by producing less spalling, can detonate on contact with trees, and spaced armor on enemy tanks will make your shot useless. But that is the price of being able to damage even the heaviest tanks you can face. But with great caliber comes great reload time. Unlike majority of tanks at these battle ratings that send their shells every few seconds, you have quite long 10 seconds reload. That means once you shoot, enemies will be able to approach you safely, so try to keep some distance to have time to reload while enemies are approaching, or you will be overrun quickly. Tank's armor is fantastic for its battle rating, and especially considering that it's a medium tank. It will protect you from most of the shells. Frontal armor is 63mm thick, slightly angled rolled homogeneous plate. When you keep some distance where enemies' armor-piercing shells lose enough penetration, only heat shells will be able to penetrate tank frontally. And if you angle yourself, even they will have a hard time damaging you. Turret's armor is 76, and the gun mantled is even thicker, 89mm. So whenever you play in a hull down position, you are even more invincible. And you can do that easily thanks to -10 degrees gun's depression. All this armor don't make you resistant to hunger. Most of the time you will die because opponents managed to flank you. Even then you have a slight chance to survive because of 5 crew members. But successful flanker will most likely have a small reload, and your battle will be finished as soon as he manages to shoot all your crew. The worst thing is that you cannot react to someone behind you quickly. Turret rotation speed is one of the main reasons you die. 6 degrees per second with aced crew. Once a faster tank comes closer to you, he can easily stay away from where your gun is pointing, especially if your engine or track is damaged. To avoid that, you should stick with someone on your team so that you could cover each other. Otherwise, you will be an easy prey for quick tanks. Of course, you can help your turret traversion by moving a whole tank, but the steering speed is also quite slow. Additionally, after every move, tank wobbles a lot, making it very difficult to shoot anything that is farther away and requiring you to wait few seconds after stopping to be able to shoot more precisely. 5 km/h backward speed is also not very effective way to get out of danger, but surprisingly, if everything you want is to relocate a tank, it can reach up to 41 km/h speed quite fast. Not the light tank speed, but still a decent for someone with such frontal armor, and you should have no problems moving big distances, especially when moving a straight line and on even surface. M4A3 has two smoke options. One is smoke shell. If you keep in mind that reload time is not so small, it should only be used when you need to place smoke screen far away. And the smoke grenades that can be shot one by one at a small distance in front of tank's gun. Artillery support is very useful at these tiers, and high caliber machine gun is also able to pierce some slightly armored tanks. That is extremely useful while you are waiting for your long reload or can't get gun on fast enemy driving around you because of slow turret rotation. In arcade, tank has a bigger battle rating, 3.0. That is the price for benefiting from this game mode, that enemies cannot flank you so easily. For 10-second reload between your shots, better hide behind cover. Because of increased battle rating, you will meet stronger opponents that will increase their chances to penetrate you frontally. Of course, your turret rotation speed is also increased, so it's not as big issue as used to be in realistic. And of course, ballistics is much easier to control because of aiming cross. But some heavier enemies will start to tank your shells, so you will have to start aiming for weak spots. In realistic, you should be extremely aware of the situation on a battlefield. Very often you will advance with your team, and few minutes later you realized that all your more squishy teammates died, and now you're alone with easily flankable vehicle between enemies. So choose your route carefully, avoiding areas where you can be easily surrounded. Overall, M4A3 Sherman is a tank that benefits from predictable gameplay and preferably teaming up with someone for additional insurance from unpredicted situations. Every time enemy appears right in front of you while you are moving, you will be the second who gets to shoot because of significant hull wobbling. Every time enemy flanks, you cannot protect yourself because of how much time it takes to rotate the turret. Every time a distant enemy changes his position, you cannot land a shot because of how much time it takes for your slow shell to get there. But the result of dealing with these subtle issues is that you have a dream of every tanker in your hands. You are able to punch through anyone frontally, and most of other tanks will have a hard time doing the same.